You like my Johnny Bravo hair? Because, I cut my bangs and now I can't stand them. They look so stupid. I just have to wait for them. I just have to wait for them to grow out. I don't know what's so hard to understand about circumcising the heart and cleaning the outside and the inside of the cup. But let me try to break this down for you. I'm like your ride or die, crash or burn type of girl. I started out with just the ride or die part, and then I added the crash and burn as I went through life and realized that, everyone else was going to jump out of the car and I was going to be left to crash and burn. That's how loyal I was. But basically, loyalty is my religion. Torah is loyalty. If you could sum Torah up in one word, it would be loyalty. Loyalty to God and loyalty to man. And you could just call it doing what you say you're gonna do. Another word for it is faithful. So I don't really understand so much why the circumcision of the heart and cleaning the inside of the cup and the outside of the cup is so hard for people to comprehend. And sometimes I'm like, wouldn't you just like to have loyal friends? People who actually do what they say they're gonna do. People who actually will do Torah and know that they're gonna do Torah because they got Torah in their heart. And I don't know, maybe it's the Christians that throw people off, because when they talk about anything related to the heart, like, Jesus knows what's in my heart, it's phony, and it's just maybe emotionalism, or maybe it's just the fact that it's totally divorced from reality, because, God actually does know what's in your heart, and it stinks, so just to say, God knows what's in my heart when you're doing all kinds of wickedness. Well, if you're doing wickedness, what is it that's in your heart? If you're not obeying, then what is it that is in your heart? Anyways, people seem to get hung up on this heart thing. But the heart is the base of the desires and the motives in life. So anything that you do in life is going to stem from your heart, your base, your motives, your motives and your desires. That's where everything springs from, okay? Now, if Hitler had a heart that was not full of murders, deceit, lies, these kind of things, he would not have killed 6 million Jews. So it starts with the heart. It's about getting the heart right, okay? Now, I had two childhood friends recently who I grew up with and I've known for 20 years or so. These incidents happened within a few months of each other. The first was I was in, I think, Dallas. I think I was in Dallas. I can't remember if it was Dallas or maybe I was in San Antonio. I can't remember now. But anyways, I had talked to my friend from high school before I went, and she was like, yeah, I got tickets to Six Flags and or one of those places. I can't remember because we go to all of them. Every time we travel, we go to like Six Flags or one of the equivalent places. I can't even remember all their names. But anyways, I had budgeted in her word that she said she had the discount coupons, because those places are expensive. And I relied on her word. Well, when I got to the place, I don't remember if I was in San Antonio. I think I was in San Antonio. When I got to San Antonio, I started texting her and I was like, I'm here, and then she was texting me back and we made plans to meet there. Well, she never showed up and she stopped answering my text. So, I eventually just went, and my kids were already psyched about going, so I paid the full price, which is really expensive, and it left me with barely enough money to get home. I was stressed out about getting home. But the next incident was my other friend from junior high, and she was coming down to visit from Oklahoma, and she wanted to meet up, but she didn't want to meet like at the beach or at a restaurant or something. She wanted to come over to my house. So I was like, okay, I'll spend all night cleaning for you to come over, Because, you know, I'm not the best housekeeper in the world. I'm not like someone that has like a immaculate house all the time. So I changed all my plans and stayed home and cleaned my house and sat there and waited and waited and waited, and she never showed up. So after that incident, my daughter was like, "Mom, you don't have very reliable friends," and and it was funny, but it made me realize something, that you have friends that you're friends with because you have history with. You've been friends with them for 20 years. They're not really friends, like friends based on actual a relationship and qualities. They're just friends because you've been friends for 20 years. And so you'll shake off these little incidents and you'll keep being friends with them. But doesn't mean you're ever going to trust them or rely on them. But, you know, one time I was taking a driver's test, and I remember the cop lady that I was taking the test with saying, "Wouldn't it be nice if everyone would just use their turn signal?" And that's how I feel about, you know, friends. Wouldn't it be nice if to just have friends that you could trust and that would just do what they said they were going to do? Friends that follow Torah. And I'm lucky that I actually have friends who follow Torah. And it's far more than just going through some motions, which would be following Torah outwardly. You're cleaning the outside of the cup, you know, making it look a certain way on the outside. You know, maybe, I don't know, because most of the people I know who like only keep Torah on the outside or only clean the outside of the cup are hypocrites, and they don't actually do a lot of the stuff that they say they do, but they put on the appearance of it. So it's hypocrisy. But, you know, wouldn't you actually like to have friends that actually kept Torah, and you knew that they would always keep Torah because they do what not only do they do what they say, but they value Torah so much that they're always going to govern all their actions by what Torah says. And that's what having Torah written on the heart is, and cleaning the inside of the cup. You could just call it integrity or virtue, but, you know, it's Torah. It's Torah on the heart. And I'm kind of confused about why this is such a hard concept for some people, you know? Like, for instance, circumcision. What good is what good is outward circumcision if you got a person whose heart is not circumcised? So, I mean, you have someone who has cut a piece of skin off of their private part, their male private part, but, you know, they're wicked, they're full of adulteries, murders, lies, deceit. You can't trust them as far as you can throw them. What is the point in that? What is the point in that? So, you know, God's never been happy with that. He tells us to circumcise our hearts. If you can't circumcise your heart and clean out your heart and obey Torah in your heart and actually love Yahweh, like it's actually your motive and desire, you know, you love Him with all your heart, soul, mind, strength, and being, you know, like that's actually where your motives and your priorities and your desires are at. And the same with your neighbor and your friends and the people you have in your life. If it ain't, you know, sincere, what good is it? So, anyways, God has never been happy with hypocrisy and people just going through a few motions, washing their lettuce, and anyways, if you don't have your heart right and your motives right, then why else would you even keep Torah? And the answer is, like, the only reason that if you're not keeping Torah because you really love Yahweh, you love righteousness, you love goodness, you love truth, you want to do what's right, you love your neighbor, you want to do right by people, these kind of correct motives. If you're not doing it for these reasons, then what's really left? I mean, you're keeping Torah because maybe you hope to impress God, you hope to get points with God, you hope to impress a bunch of people and look like you're something that you're not really. Maybe you want to get to go to heaven, or get a lot in the kingdom and inherit you know, all these things that people think they're going to get. You know, a lot of Christians think that, Christians think that they're going to get rewards in heaven, which I assume is like some gold or silver or something, because that's kind of like, I mean, people think about material possessions. I'm sure they're not like trying to inherit spiritual things. So, anyways, it's just like get your motives right, you know. I don't think some people can get their motives right, but you know, it'd be nice if you could, you know, get your motives and priorities right, and do things for real reasons, not just because you hope to get something out of it. Those are some crappy motives. And you know, who needs friends like that? I mean, who really needs friends like that?